The first time I saw Sunday's drip marketing, I thought that this yellow feather was a deflated banana. Because when you first look at something you haven't seen before, you're just quickly scanning around the wall thing, you know, looking at, oh, I see thorns, I see mini man, I see a golden thing. And for a split second I thought like, why is he trying to reach this deflate banana? I don't know, maybe I am just nuts, but that's just what I initially thought. But of course, if you just look at it a bit closer, you can see it's just a golden feather. So let's first have a look at this cool splash art of his. We can see that the thorns are trying to pull him down. They are reaching from the ground, latching up to him, while Sunday is trying to grab this golden feather. And I think those thorns are trying to pull him down because thorns don't usually represent things that do good things. They are mostly used in those negative things, if you know what I mean. Because I don't think those thorns are trying to push him up to this golden feather. And the last time I saw thorns was on Luocha's light cone. Because in Luocha's light cone, he is like holding up this thorn in his hand, who is like trying to reach up to Luocha's throat or something. That's what the animated light cone was doing when Honkai Story shared his light cone, which is quite interesting. And Sunday also is a bit like Luocha now. Because if we read this text on the right, we can see at the last line it says, the traveler whose wings were clipped. And who's the one who's always saying, I'm just a traveling merchant? That's Luocha. So maybe Sunday and Luocha are a bit like each other. This is just Honkai Star's way of representing characters like them. People who have no real home anymore. Maybe something like that. But I don't know. That's just a thing I just noticed that Luocha and Sunday have in common. And another thing we notice is, of course, those little monsters or whatever they are. Little angels, mini Sundays. I don't know what they represent. I think we saw those characters too when fighting against Sunday. They're quite cute. And of course, Sunday is the first male Harmony limited 5-star character, which is pretty cool. But now let's speculate what Sunday's kit might potentially be. If we look at Sunday's coat, we see it's like a half-half. One side is darkish blue, the other side is whitish. This may represent some kind of buff for your world team and demerit for your world team too. I think Sunday might have like this opposite kit of what Robin actually does. So, if we just set up a simple scenario, we have an action bar. Let's assume the blue blocks are your characters and the white blocks are the enemies. So this is just a simple scenario we are setting up. So what Robin does is, with her ult is, she pushes everyone in your team to the front. So everyone in your team gets an action. And every other enemy is pushed back. So this is what Robin technically does. You cast her ult, everyone in your team gets action forwarded. And if you assume this one is Robin, she gets delayed a bit because when she's in her ult state, her turn is way later. So your other 3 characters get a turn. So what could Sunday then do is maybe push all enemies up and your characters down. So how that would look like is, the blue ones are your characters, the white ones are the enemies. So the enemies now get a turn and your characters now are pushed down. But how would this help us? Well, what Sunday then could do is give the enemies a debuff, like less damage, so decreased damage done, because now every enemy gets a turn. So now that every enemy gets a turn, maybe what Hoyo Force could do is make it so that enemies do a little bit less damage. Or they could get just a flat attack percentage down, every enemy. And how could this benefit us? So now Sunday could give us a lot of damage boost. But compared to Robin, the damage boost should be like way more, because the enemies gets a turn, and with Robin is your characters get a turn. So to make this worth it, the damage boost of Sunday should be like double, triple or quadruple. And this could buff counter-attacking characters like Yunli and Clara. And this is the exact opposite of how Robin functions, as in Robin wants characters which do a lot of attacks. Since her ult is up for not that long, you want your characters to do a lot of attacks to make the most use of her ult. And then with Sunday it would be, you want your characters to be really slow, just like Yunli and Clara, and the enemies to be fast. And if Sunday with his ult action forwards all enemies so that they can attack your Yunli and Clara and give your characters a really big damage boost, since it is quite a demerit to give the enemies a new turn, that would make Sunday a great reverse of Robin. And of course Robin is also quite good with Yunli and Clara, but not that good, since Robin, like I said once, allies will do a lot of actions. Yunli and Clara can only do a lot of actions when they are of course really fast, but they are mostly built slow. You put on attack boots on them. So counter-attacking characters get a lot of actions is when they get attacked. But what Robin does is give your characters a turn. And if we look at Sunday's lore, it could potentially quite fit his kit, because Sunday is someone who is trying to actually help everyone by putting them in an eternal sleep. But it is quite a bad thing he is doing, because it is unethical. And this could also potentially be reflected in this type of mechanic in his kit. He gives your characters a really big damage boost, but the bad thing is the enemies gets a turn. And this may reflect in his code, since we see it is a half-half. So the white thing could represent he does a good thing, but the darkish bluish represents he does also a bad thing. And we see the white part of his coat is way bigger than the blue part. So the white part, so the good part, outweighs the bad part. Maybe this is how it could be reflected in his kit. I'm just hypothesizing. It could be a really fun mechanic. Or another thing Sunday could do as a Harmony support is finally make the dot characters usable, or as in better, since they have been quite neglected for quite some while. And in Divergent Universe there is this equation which says that dot can crit. So maybe Sunday could make dots crit. Since Sunday now has lost his battle in Penacony, he has become a traveler. Maybe he is going towards nihility a little bit. So that is why he could potentially be a good support character to reflect his nihilism. Or Sunday could be a specific summon support, since there are just actually 3 summon characters in the whole game out of the 59 playable characters. We got Topaz, Yingyuan and Lingsha. Those are the only characters who have summons. And those little guys on his drip marketing could be summons in the game. So whenever those little guys gets a turn, your summons do more damage. But I don't know how they would implement it. They could keep it simple, like with your skill of Sunday, your summons do 100% more damage. Who knows? I don't know. Or he could be like a Harmony MC power creep, since Harmony MC is also an imaginary Harmony character, and she got her Harmony powers, or used her Harmony powers the first time when fighting against Sunday. So Sunday could be a super break support, or he will be a support to synergize with Rappa, since Rappa is the next upcoming character who is imaginary. And now that Sunday will be coming after Rappa, maybe they're trying to push those mono imaginary teams. But since we don't know Rappa's kit, I don't know how Sunday could potentially synergize with her. But out of all of these, I think the reverse Robin kit would be really fun. It would make even Aventurin way better, since whenever a shield ally gets attacked, he gets more stacks. And there's also this light cone on the preservation characters that whenever that preservation character gets attacked, the enemy gets this fire dot on him, which is also a nice use case for that light cone, which I just remembered. But I don't know what Hoyo will do. I'm just hypothesizing, thinking of cool mechanics they could potentially implement. I really hope they will make Sunday unique, since he is literally the most hyped up character there is, I think. Maybe even more than Firefly, I'm not sure. But yeah, let's see. Who knows what will happen. And I will for sure be summoning for Sunday. And I will do a push-up for every summon I do when pulling for Sunday. Because why not? We gotta earn those pulls. The last time I did those pulls was for Fei Xiao. If you're interested to see how that goes, have a look at that video. I thank you for your time and see you the next time. Bye.